Okay, so we're gonna take a look here at the inverse tangent and using our calculator to find particular values here. And so just a quick reminder here, overview that the inverse tangent, so f of x of arctan of x, the domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. And the range is some value between, or some angle between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. Okay, so similar to our sine. All right, so here we'll keep that in mind as we work through a couple of these problems here. All right, so we're going to solve similar problems that we had in the previous couple videos. So let's say for our example, we want to find all values, or let's say all angles in the interval 0 to 2 pi, such that tangent of theta is equal to 6.5. All right. Okay. All right, so here, again, we're looking for where is the tangent positive, and this occurs in quadrants 1 and in quadrants 3. Right, so theta 1 here, and then theta 2 in quadrant 3. Okay, so we'll start off again with our knowledge here of our inverse functions. Right, so if the tangent of theta is equal to 6.5 or 6 5/10, this is true if and only if the arctan of 6.5 is equal to theta. So take out our calculator here. Again, the tangent inverse, the arctan, is this tan to the negative 1 here. So hit second, tan inverse 6.5. Hit enter, and we get a value of 1.42. We'll call it, rounding using some proper rounding techniques. 1.42. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so we have our theta. All right, so the nice thing here is that we actually have found, since this is our positive angle, it's in quadrant 1, we actually found theta 1 right away. This is 1.42, also theta 1, but also our reference angle. All right, that's going to help us out when we find our second angle. Okay, all right, so our second angle, theta 2, is going to be in quadrant 3. Now again, how do I find that? This is going to be pi plus this extra part here, right? Well, that extra part happens to be theta r. All right. Okay, so theta 2 is going to be pi plus theta r, which is pi plus 1.42. Okay, so we use a calculator here, and we have pi plus 1.42. That gives us a value of 4.56. So theta 2, I'm going to do 4.56. Okay. All right, so now we have this in combination with our theta 1. We have found all the values in that interval 0 to 2 pi that satisfy tangent theta equals to 6.5. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at one more example here, this time involving when the tangent of theta is equal to a negative value. So in this example, I would like to find all angles in the interval 0 to 2 pi, where such that the tangent of theta is equal to negative 15. All right. Okay, so here the tangent of theta is negative in 2 quadrants, in quadrant 1, quadrant 2, and quadrant 4. So we're looking for theta 1 in quadrant 2, theta 2 in quadrant 4. All right, so similar, again, same kind of beginning here. I'll start with my knowledge of inverses, tangent theta of negative 15. All right, this is true if and only if the arctan of negative 15 is equal to theta. So I'll take my calculator out. All right, and then we go to the inverse tangent. Type in negative 15, and that gives me a value of theta to be negative 1.50 radians. Right. Okay. Now this does give me an angle in quadrant 4, but it's a negative angle. Right. So here, what this gives me, again, important to realize here that we have theta negative 1.50. Okay, in quadrant 4, all right, because our output, our range for the tangent is an angle between pi over 2 and negative pi over 2, which is in this direction. Okay, but again, right, it's okay, right? It's up to us to be able to interpret this information. If this is theta, that means that theta r, the reference angle, is positive 1.5, right? Because it's that angle made, the acute angle made between the x-axis and the terminal side, right? Always positive. Okay, so that's going to be helpful here to find theta 1, right? Theta 1 nice here, right? So theta 1, and again, remember, since this is theta r, right? Theta 1 is going to be pi, right? Pi would be too much. By how much? By the reference angle, minus 1.50. So that is going to be, pi minus 1.50. And that gives me a value of 1.64. And theta 2, right? Theta 2 is going to be this angle out here. So it'll be 2 pi minus the 1.5, right? Because 2 pi would be too much. So we get 2 pi minus 1.50, and we get 4.78. Okay, and that is how we use the calculator, right, to find our angle values here. All right. Again, as you work through these, keep in mind, right, the calculator is going to be useful, but there are limits to what the calculator can do. All right. It is up to us to be able to interpret these values. All right. Thank you.